purchased this 92 Honda Civc EG as an unfinished project not running. It was originally powered by a carbureted D13D, but that was swapped out with a blacktop B18C. The fuel tank was also already swapped out, as well as the rear drum brakes, which were replaced with rear disc brakes from an EG6. With the help from my brother, I made the new DC2 harness work with the EG dash, fuse box and ECU. With the wiring sorted, I was able to get the car running and driving pretty quickly. Plans then changed when I decided to turbo the B18C. I decided to run the Booster Boy Special eBay GTX 3582R. I started off with a top mount cast manifold that was quickly swapped out to a top mount speed factory manifold, along with a GFB 44mm wastegate and a GFB blower valve. The front brakes were also upgraded to the DC2 262mm rotors. As there were no intercooler kits available on the market at the time, I decided to buy an AC TIG welder and learn to weld. I installed a 3-inch intercooler and used 3-inch pipe to make up the charge pipes. At this stage I decided that I'd pull the motor and upgrade the pistons and rods to CP pistons and speed factory rods, and also upgrade the head studs to ARP. I had the engine machined to suit the new pistons, and I rebuilt the head and installed Type R valve springs and retainers. With the engine reassembled, the gearbox went back on with a competition clutch. I also upgraded the factory fuel pump, swapped out the factory hard lines to AN lines, and installed an AM fuel rail with 1000cc gram injectors. And then with some help from my mates, we reinstalled the freshly painted subframe with all new hard race bushings. Then we were able to get the engine back in and get most of it back together. Within a few long nights and a lot of failed attempts, and maybe an oil spill that may or may not have been me forgetting the oil filter, and we got the car running and driving. With the car now running, I made up a downpipe and exhaust using the Speed Factory 3-inch kit, and hooked up the AM wideband to the Honda S300. Since this whole build was a first for me, I decided to have a crack at road tuning. After a few weeks of figuring out the Honda and a lot of watching Brent from PFI, I was able to make it run well on 12 PSI. I set up the two-step and tested it out. And also did some burnouts. Went for some pulls. Raced a couple of cars. After a couple of years and 18 PSI, the stock cylinder walls decide to give way.
And I also bent a rod.
Subscribe to see the rebuild, and thanks for watching.